Okay, so Brandy, good morning. Pleasantries aside, fake news media aside, how's your day going so far?
It's early here on the East Coast and a little rainy, which I kind of like. I like a moody day.
Yeah, East Coast too, gray. Although I can hear the leaf blowers outside. Do you have leaf blowers where you are too?
Yes, and especially when I'm in California, I think each of my neighbors is scheduled for a different day, so it's like leaf blower city all the time.
I hear you.
I feel your pain.
It happens. It happens. But we were connected because you have new music, but all the while you never stopped working with TV, film, theater, etc. Was the long-term plan to be doing music aside from all that, or did you just kind of realize that you could do everything if you wanted?
Well, I think I've always known I could do everything if I wanted, but I had never really carved out the time for it. And I was in kind of a situation early on in my career where I had a record deal proposed to me, but it really wasn't the right kind of a deal. And then I wound up booking a role on the show Passions and had to move out to Los Angeles. So I just chose a different direction. It's always been cooking in me, this EP, and it seems like now was the perfect time to revisit it and to finally lend my voice to this.
Before I go all positive and ask about Magic and Electric Hearts and all those singles and all that, when it came to that record deal, genuinely curious. Was it kind of like they wanted you to go in a certain direction, or the business wasn't right, or you didn't have the right team? Any idea what the hesitation was?
Yeah, it was a little bit of everything. I'm a very late bloomer kind of girl. I was very shy. So it took me a second to really grow into myself and learn who I am, which I'm kind of glad how it worked out because I wouldn't be able to put a stamp on something that I felt was authentically a piece of me back then. I would have been much more influenced by what everybody else wanted me to do. Which is yeah, it's nice to actually think about that in retrospect.
Hmm.
Yeah, but also a sticky management deal. I feel like I've been so protected over the years. So it was a real blessing that Passions came along and kind of pulled me out of that trajectory.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I'll say, and I'm impressed with most artists when they release a single, they're kind of waiting to see what happens before they announce or plan the other one. But your team had leaked to me, here's the next six. And then you go, they're really organized. This is a long-term plan. So are those singles ultimately being compiled into an EP or an album or a vinyl release?
Well, right now it's still at an EP level. I did test the waters last year with a single because I never really wanted to be doing all of this on my own. I wanted partners in a record label, but now that everything's so available to artists,
Hmm.
I figured why wait? It just felt like the right time. So I decided to move on my own, which has been really challenging, but
Hmm.
I prefer things that way because that's where like all the rewards lie. If you let everybody do everything for you, I don't even know. That's not just not how I operate. It's probably an illusion to think that like, oh, having a record label, all of your problems are solved. I mean, that's
No.
what we hear all the time. Anyway, right, exactly. So it's
Yeah.
actually worked out really well. So when I was developing these singles, they kind of each came to me individually. And when I decided to kind of not sit on them anymore, I said, you know what? These feel like they're cohesive and go together. Let's tell the story this way. So that's where, I did have the luxury of giving it some thought.
Some artists, when they put out five songs, for example, they culled it out of 30. And then others, they put out five songs because they finished five songs. Which one are you?
A little bit of both. I mean,
Hmm.
I do have a lot of songs that I haven't released, probably 30. I don't know that I was doing it as an exercise to release them. I think
Hmm.
it was a kind of an exercise of trying to find my sound and find what I wanted to say. And then once these kind of surfaced, I could see clearly which ones I wanted to put forward as the whole idea and concept of the EP.
Was there ever any thought into doing your music career under one of those band name sounding aliases?
I had considered it. I tried my early days to try to change my name, um, and it just didn't feel right to me. I wish I had maybe gone that direction, but we see Lady Gaga and Ariana Grande now using their like real names to act. So I'm like, I don't know. I've already come out as an actress. I mean, people who know me. And what am I doing? Am I playing a character? Or am I really playing myself? And I guess the exercise here for me is I'm showing up as myself. So here I am.
I don't blame you for that
Yeah.
because I think that when people want to go, is this person legit or not? And they Google you, if you're proud of it, wouldn't you want everything to come up in one place instead of having people have to work to figure out that Childish Gambino is Donald Glover?
Oh, exactly. Well, I mean, I don't know. I guess there's like that mystery sells too. So I can't hate on that. But for me, in my journey, that's why it's called Just Like This, because I'm taking back my narrative and I'm giving it to you from my point of view.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So you co-wrote the songs that we are hearing being released. Who are some of your collaborators? I asked that out of ignorance because I did not get the liner notes, so I'm
Yeah.
curious.
So the project started with a guy in Baltimore. Um, his name's Nate Lanzino, and he has just a great way with so many different styles of music. And it
Hmm.
was a really organic process from there. And then I collaborate with a guy, Yoni Carlson, in LA. And then I have some producers from Finland and Denmark that I also work with. So, it's been fun to see. I have been in the studio with a bunch of people, but when it's vibing and when it feels right. So yeah.
Did you get to go to Finland or Denmark for any of that, or has it
I
been
have
remote?
been, but not for music. It has been mostly remote, yeah.
Not for acting to be you know, I'm curious about that because these days you never know when the film is set in New York City if it's really Bulgaria or New Mexico.
Right. I'd actually love to do that. I haven't had that experience yet. I've done most of my work in LA and New York, which is actually pretty rare these days.
Very, very rare. And plus your theater background and all that, that's all major city centric.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I have worked in London, but not in filmmaking and TV. Well, I guess we did a PBS special, so yeah.
So, in terms of having the music career, some artists go, well, the whole reason to record is to be able to play out live. And then other people just don't care about playing out live aside from, a benefit show or a gala kind of thing or a variety show. Where are you at in terms of the live performance aspect? Again, given your theater background.
I think I came at it with hankering to create the whole show
Hmm.
and to have a live situation. I've never really been keen on touring. It's just never been, even though I'm very adventurous. So um, I don't know. I'm kind of like looking forward to stepping into that space, and I'm hoping to have more resources to create the full visual situation I'd like to have on stage. But that said, there'll be a moment for it. There'll be a moment for unplugged gigs as well. Right now, though, I feel very much like I'm focused on just getting these songs out to the right ears and trying to find the right audience for it.
Got it. In terms of performing live, would you want to do a one woman show kind of thing where it's your whole career? Or would you approach it more like a rock show where you go, I'm just playing the songs from my new EP?
Yeah, I think it's more the second one. It's funny because I've never been somebody who wanted to do a one-woman show. I'm like, people are crazy who want to do that. And then yet I'm essentially doing that to myself. But I guess like I've really loved in the theater, just looking around the stage and realizing that you're not in it alone. So I'm really looking forward to the collaborative process with putting the show together.
Do you have your role models in terms of your music career? I ask that because some people are vision boardy people.
You know, yes, but I'm so I feel like I'm attracted to the next shiny thing. So there's
Oh,
a little bit of each artist that I see that I can always pick something that I like from people. But I love like a simple pop moment and
mhm.
like that kind of energy. But I also, I mean, I'm a big sucker for Celine Dion and those big dramatic moments. You know, I am
Sure.
theatrical and cinematic, so I want to definitely bring that edge into it. But so these songs are more like poppy and palatable, like a little sweet snack, you know.
Poppy and palatable.
Yeah.
Hopefully, that's not the quote that appears in the press releases. That's
Right.
selling
I mean,
yourself a
I
little short, but I
hear.
get what
Thank
you're
you.
saying. I get what you're saying, where it's a commercially appealing, yet not nauseatingly commercially appealing, right?
Yes, although I love nauseatingly commercially appealing too. So that's the
Sure.
thing. It's trying to put a little bit of, it's trying to flavor it properly, I guess. Yeah.
So another thing that's notable is that you were in the movie Friendship, which it's kind of rides the I can't think of the verbs today. It's pretty early, but it rides between being commercial yet alternative at the same time, where you have, funny people doing dramatic roles. How long did you have to keep it a secret that you were going to be involved in that one? Because I only found out when the embargo lifted and they went, "Hey, Friendship coming out with Tim and Paul."
It's funny, you know, I think it's just the nature of how things work now. I didn't feel like I had to be quiet about anything, but I think it's just, you know, the audience it kind of comes when it comes. And when A24 picked it up at the Toronto Film Festival, you know, we obviously had a big wind behind us. So that was really exciting. And it's been exciting to go to the theater and hear people's reactions, especially like I've seen it in LA and New York, and I've seen
Yeah.
it in Maryland, and you know, it's funny to see the different reactions.
For sure. Are we allowed to know where we're going to see you next, acting wise, or is it all embargoes and
Well,
trade?
I have some discussions going on that yeah, we're not locked in yet, so I don't want to jinx it.
Is it the kind of thing where you released music and did not worry about the timeline of the acting career? Or did you go, oh, okay, some stuff is not coming out for these months, therefore I have a clear lane?
I think it was more that I found music as something to do. You know, I'm a creative person, so
Sure.
when I'm not creating, I feel like a little bit nuts. So it's actually been a way to harness that energy in myself uh and without needing it to become anything. So, but when it did become something, and when Friendship was coming out, I was like, well, you know, I've been incubating this for a minute, and
Hmm.
now I'm going to be out there again. Maybe now's the time to share it and just be unashamed. And
Hmm.
yeah.
So you just called out that you are a creative person even when you're not supposed to be creative.
Yeah.
But what's the main hobby when you're not working?
Hobby.
Do you
Hobby?
have hobbies? Sometimes you find creatives that just don't have hobbies.
Yeah, I think it's more that that's just who I am as an animal person, right? Like and I'm interested in so many things. I love learning.
Hmm.
Um, and I think that's all part of my creative energy too, because you have to put in to give out again. So yeah, it's kind of like a cyclical thing. I mean, I love tennis and going to the beach and like museums, and I love cities and cultures and food. And are those hobbies?
I would
I
say so.
clothes.
In terms of the learning, though, I'm curious. When I was a kid, the only way that you were really allowed to learn was books and scholar journal kind of things. And in the last 5 to 10 years, you've seen that people learn. And I did air quotes for anyone who just hears audio and is not looking at video. They learn through YouTube. They learn how to do everything through those visual kind of things, whatever your streamer is. How do you learn? Real question there.
I think I'm more of an experienced person, so I like to go to the source. And yeah, I mean, if I have to do something electronically, I check YouTube.
Yeah,
But
that's what I'm
yeah.
finding. It's the best possible way to learn anything these days is actually YouTube. Yeah, we're supposed to still think that books is the way of the scholar.
Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I still prefer to like go to ancient places and stand in the spots, you know, and
Yeah,
learn history that way, essentially. But sure, anything tactical, like yeah, Google it, get on that YouTube.
and on that YouTube. And the last question or topic I have out of curiosity about you, Brandy, is sometimes you find that artists and live performers, when they're not busy with all that, they go to gigs all the time and shows, and that's what they love to do and how they learn. And then others go, "Hey, if I'm not on that stage, I'm not going. That's work. I separate my work and all that." What's the last live performance or live event that you went to for fun?
Ooh, that's a good question. Wow, it's been a minute. What was it? Who was it? Um, I can't think of the artist's name. It was a band my dad took me. It was like a band from the 70s. They played at the Ram's Head in Annapolis. So he takes me to a lot of shows and a lot of bands that he loves. So yeah.
Hard rock, yacht rock, any kind of
Oh
a
yeah,
genre?
yacht rock for sure.
Was it yacht rock?
It was kind of a yacht rock. Who did, oh, I'm gonna kick myself because later on in the day I'll think of
Orleans,
who it is. Sorry.
Ambrosia.
It's not, no, it's a guy. Oh, hold on. I know. Okay, keep going and now I'll find it.
Well, I think the key is we can't pigeonhole you to a genre,
I
to a
guess.
form of entertainment, to where you're going to be, to what you're going to do, etc. That's the vibe that I'm kind of getting. You're an
Yeah,
artist, but not one of those uncontrollable, eccentric artists.
right. I don't appear eccentric, but I'm very mercurial.
Mercure, that is a big word. So you did well on your SATs?
Yes, so many years ago, yes.
I buy it. I buy it. Well, bottom line is, thank you for the great art. Looking forward to what's to come from you on screen, on stage, on record, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
Paltrocast.